Okay, so you Googled, is Land O'Lakes a good place to buy a home in 2026? Now you've got a million Zillow tabs open, three opinions from your in laws, and still absolutely have no idea what's going on here. So cool, buckle up. I'm Ania. This is Jimmy B with LPT, and we sell houses up and down the 41 and Suncoast corridor every single week. And in the next couple of minutes, we're going to show you exactly what the real numbers of 2026 April are. We have sale prices, days on market, how many homes are actually moving, and to tell you what they mean. So if you're trying to buy, sell, or just stop your spouse from doom scrolling at midnight, just a heads up, we're also not going to fluff this. If it's a great time to buy, we'll tell you. And if sellers need a reality check, we're going to tell you that too. Let's get into it.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why we're never going to fluff the numbers in Land O'Lakes, it's because it's actually where Jimmy B and Anio call home. We actually live in Land O'Lakes, and we love our Land O'Lakes area and market. So let's get into some numbers. So we're going to start with new listings. So this is an interesting stat. So the listing inventory and the number of new listings that hit the market, Annie, is actually down
What?
20% year over year from last year.
Really?
Last year, there was 277 new listings in Land
Mm,
O'Lakes that hit the market.
yeah.
And this year, there's only 221.
Oh, wow.
So that's why prices haven't actually crashed, and they're not going to. Buyers think that
Gotcha.
they have all the leverage, but the numbers really say otherwise. So as a buyer, you have fewer homes to negotiate on, and you want to move fast on the right one. If you're a seller, you have less competition, but you definitely want to list probably for July when everybody wakes up. So the inventory squeeze in general and the lower inventory is why, everyone is waiting for this crash that is not coming.
Imagine that. Crash that's not coming.
I think we've been saying that for, I don't know, ever.
Yeah, basically.
Since the last crash, we said that was going to be the last one for a very long time.
Crash, right? Exactly. All right, now let's talk about sales price. Right now, the median sales price is 399,990. I know that's a lot of nines. That's actually down a little bit versus April of 2025 when it was 409,990. Everyone loved that 990s.
That's interesting. So
Yeah,
the inventory has decreased,
huh?
but so has the prices.
Yeah, a bit. So prices aren't spiking. They're literally sitting there, kind of like how your cousin does on the couch at Thanksgiving. They're just like existing, everything. So just give you an idea, buyers, you can negotiate. Ask for some closing cost help if that's something you've been looking for. Sellers, you need to know this is a rare fair zone. Nobody is winning the lottery here. And you know what's normal? We call this healthy market. Novel idea.
Yeah. So what's really interesting though about the Land O'Lakes market is, what we just talked about with the new listings, but what the overall month supply of inventory is that's available. And this stat, honestly, shocked me when I saw it. A classic balanced market is typically 6 months of inventory.
Right.
That means if no new listings came on the market in Land O'Lakes, it would take around 6 months for all the listings to sell.
Okay.
So balance market is 6. Land O'Lakes is actually down to 1.45 months of inventory.
Whoa.
So that shows that it was a very strong seller's market, and it was actually over 4% this time last year. Buyers truly feel that they're in a buyer's market because the internet told them so, but these numbers say otherwise. At the end of the day, though, the deal goes to whoever understands these numbers better.
Yep.
So if you're a buyer, you can't really take leverage on the market as a whole. You have to take leverage on each home individually and their individual situations. You don't want to lowball, but you really need to partner with the right realtors so that we can figure out exactly what's going on the exact home that you're looking into, so we can make sure that you have the right leverage. Now, if you're a seller, you can kind of hold your line on the price a little bit here because the inventory is down. That right buyer may come along. Obviously, it's all going to depend on your motivation, but the numbers are on your side here. So this is truly the most balanced market that we have here in Tampa Bay right now.
Yeah.
And both sides, both buyer and seller, have a good shot of really getting what they want.
Oh, absolutely. Let's talk about timing when it comes to that. Right now, the average days it takes to sell a house in Land O'Lakes is sitting at 63. So that's not necessarily a huge jump or gap compared to last year, but just want to give you this caveat that we've all been spoiled by 2021, 2022, where things were literally, that sugar high selling immediately. This market at 63 days is what real estate's actually supposed to look like. This is very normal. This is normal timing. So if you're a buyer, you can breathe. You know, you have a little bit of time to negotiate or, actually sleep on a house and be like, make sure that it's the right one for you. If you're a seller, you need to plan for 2 months, not in 1 week and you list and expect it to be sold. And also budget for your carrying costs when it comes to that as well. Because right now we're in a normal market, not a slow one. And it just feels weird because honestly, we all forgot what normal is supposed to feel like.
Yeah, and then the last statistic we're going to go over with you today, which is always a fun one, is how many homes didn't sell that were listed.
I still have a stat too to go over.
Oh, my apologies.
Second to last.
Second to last. Getting ahead of myself here.
Yep.
Thank you, Anio, for correcting Jimmy B.
You got it.
All right, so second to last stat. So we talked about, on my end, new listings, months of inventory. So I'm going to talk about how many homes actually didn't sell. Okay. So last year in April, 13 homes didn't sell. They were expired, canceled, withdrawn. This year, only 5.
Okay.
So that's down 60% year over year. So if your agent isn't telling you, or if your agent is just telling you what you want to hear, if you're a seller, you need to get a second opinion, preferably ours. Okay. So if you're a buyer in this market, one of the things to really look at is overpriced homes. They still don't sell. There are still some expired listings out there. If you're a seller, the market is going to reward realism. Wrong price equals expired, no exceptions. So smart sellers are winning. Stubborn sellers are sitting.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, it just goes along with the balanced market.
All right. Now let's take a look at the last stat, the actual last stat for Land O'Lakes, and it's the amount of home sales we had. So for the month of April, we had 152. Now, take that in correlation with, the amount of inventory that came on the market, which is down year over year. Same thing on the sales side. We're down 13% year over year. What's really interesting about this is that, sellers are much more willing to make a deal work than they were 12 months ago. I think it's that reality check of everyone realizing what kind of market we're in and getting out of fantasy land, and those that need to make a move are understanding that. And a house also that is sitting isn't necessarily a red flag. It just means that there's a negotiation waiting to happen if you're a buyer. So really paying attention to those things, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad or something's wrong with the house. So if you're a buyer, a sitting home equals your opportunity. You can make an offer, make a fair one that you're willing to pay. And if you're a seller, be prepared. Give buyers a reason to pick yours. The price, the condition, the terms, a lot of those things could be a huge way where someone picks yours versus one of the other homes that they have on the market as a choice. So overall, the market's gotten pickier, not smaller. Buyers are being just more choosy with what they have available.
Yeah, so overall, the bottom line in Land O'Lakes is that the prices are stable, the inventory is very tight, and the deal is really going to go to whoever shows up the most prepared. So if you're buying, it's a fair market. There's some real negotiation room. If you're selling, you can still win, but you can't price your property like it's 2022 anymore. So if you want to know BS conversation about how to navigate your specific situation, contact Jimmy B and Annie O, the realtors you need to know.